Hello, I'm Derek, and welcome to Hindsight 101, where you'll learn about things that will help you in everyday life. Now I'm going to show you how to install a Chamberlain garage door opener, specifically the Model 970 model. So not to make this video too long, I'm only going to show you the basic install, and then with a follow-up video, I'll show you how to set up the control panel, and then also I'll show you how to set up your mobile phone so you can use wireless. So stay tuned.
As you can see here, this is the equipment that I need to get started. Now you'll notice to the left, this is what we're going to work with now. And all the stuff that's to the right, we won't need until later. So let's just work with the stuff on the left for now, and we'll move on. FYI, some of this stuff that I had on the right side of the table will actually be found in the actual unit you see on the two sides where the light goes. You'll notice under the unit, there's a cardboard box. That came within the packaging, and I use that to kind of put on the ground as a barrier so it doesn't scratch up the bottom of the unit while it's sitting on the ground. The black rods that you see here have additional hardware inside that I'm sliding out. These you will not need right away. You will need them towards the end when you're setting up the unit. Depending on your setup, these are all the tools that you're going to need. Please note that I had an existing garage door opener, so I don't need all the tools that are referenced in the picture. I only needed a few items, but if this is a new garage install for you, you may need additional tools to complete the job. Also, if you're performing this install on your own, it will help to have two ladders. If you're with someone else, it'll be a little bit easier. So what you want to do is extend all the black rods that came in the packaging as you see on the screen. You want to line them up so you make sure that it fits from where you want to put the garage unit to the garage door. Very important, you want to make sure that little tabby is sticking up and those slits on the side are on the side. So look for the yellow sticker if you have it. That should be facing upwards. For me, those little black holes that are on top, I like to keep them to the right, but it really doesn't make a difference. It just helps for me to keep them uniformed. And then there you have it extended to the unit to kind of gauge how long this is going to be. Here you can see all the pieces put together. If you have any issues putting all the pieces together, go ahead and use a mallet. So now you want to take the end piece displayed there and you want to slide that into the end of the rod, making sure the holes line up with the screws below. So you want to slide that in. If you have any trouble, again, you can use a mallet to put it in. There's a little nub that will stop you, so you don't have to push it any further than that nub. Like I said, you can use a mallet, and you just want to line up those holes with the screws. Once you have removed the screws, you want to take the end piece and screw it down into place. Reminder, it says do not use power tools for this. You want to only use hand tools. Saving the box that the original unit came in will help, because you're going to need to work off the ground and you need it to be somewhat level. Next, you're going to need the hardware on the screen in order to continue to the next step. You want to take that bolt and put it in the last hole closest to the base. Make sure you secure it to the bracket. Next, you want to take this sliding piece and slide it all the way down to the base of the unit. Subsequently, you could have done this on the other end before you attached it to the base of the unit. Totally up to you. From the base unit, you want to go to the first connection where you put the two rods. From there, there'll be a little hole, and that's where you want to put your screwdriver. Make sure the sliding piece is closest to the base. Once that's done, you can slide it down, and this will hold the sliding piece while you add the belt. So next, what you want to do is take the belt and insert it through the slit at the end. You want to make sure that that little tab is face down. You'll need that later. Then you want to insert the wheel. Take the bolt, a washer, and a nut, and then you're going to want to tighten that up. Once tightened, we can move on to the next step. Next, you're going to want to pull that little metal tab up by the yellow sticker. You want to make sure this is perpendicular with the beam, so straight up. Use a screwdriver or a pair of pliers, whichever one works best for you. So these are the next set of pieces you're going to need for assembly. There are about 4 total. Now what you want to do is take this screw. You notice that there's 2 sides. There's a round side and a flat side. You want to make sure you want to put the flat side sticking out from the beam, because that little groove has a flat side as well that you're supposed to slide it into. So you want to make sure it's sticking out. As you can see, you do it the other way, it's not going to work. So once you have that in there, you want to take one of the other pieces. If you've ever put a chain together or had to repair one, it's similar to that. If I didn't mention before, you're going to want to loop the belt all the way around to the end unit and take the other end that you loop through that cylinder on the other end. Make sure when you put the belt on, it's not twisted. You just take a pair of pliers to snap it into place. Now it's secure. Now you want to take that last piece and screw it on. Try not to make it too tight for right now. You can tighten it later. Now that you have that secure and assembled, you want to take the other end of the belt and snap it into the little groove there. Once that's completed, you're going to need your flathead screwdriver. There's going to be this silver ring with a little slot. You're going to want to hold down the top and pop that ring out of place so it tightens the spring. Use the beam as leverage, and you want to push the ring out, and there you go, it popped out. Now it's not as wide as it was before. And now the belt is sturdy and in place. And you can remove the screwdriver. It's not going to move anymore. Next, you're going to want to put the cover over the belt wheel. There's 3 screw holes that you're going to have to line up. Screw each one of them into place, and you're good to go. Since I had an existing garage door opener, I can reuse some of the hardware, so this is where I'm going to put the new bracket to hold the unit. Unfortunately, I can't use the old holes from the original bracket, so I'm going to have to use the drill to make some new ones. The 2 brackets on the left came with the unit. The one in the middle we're going to use. The one on the left we're not, because I used pre-existing hardware. As you can see, the one on the right is the original and it's bigger than the one in the middle, so I had to replace it and I couldn't use the original hardware for this piece. So here you see The bracket lines up with the holes. So you want to take the pin and the ring to secure it. So you can see here, this is the first garage door opener I put in, and it's mounted perfectly and it lined up with the existing brackets. But I had to modify my second one because it didn't line up as well, so I had to cut some of the brackets that came with the unit. So you can see here, I had to extend it with those little pieces so it would fit. This really didn't hurt the integrity of it, but it is a little different than conventional ways of doing it. Now it's time to install the pull string in case you ever have to open your door manually. This will disengage it from the belt mechanism so you can open the door on your own instead of relying on the unit. Granted, you do have a backup battery, but in case that fails as well, this is always your last resort. As I previously stated, I'm using existing hardware. So what you want to do is take the pin and the ring and slide it into the sliding mechanism. If you didn't use existing hardware, you'd have to get that silver arm that's connected to the door and use the supplied hardware. If the belt has too much slack and you need to tighten it up, all you have to do is just twist this knob. I would only hand tighten it. I would not use tools with this. Next, we're going to install the safety sensors. These will prevent you from closing the door if something's in the line side of the door. Note, you have to connect this in order for it to work. You want to make sure that it's no more than 6 inches off the ground. Because of a metal piece that's blocking my way, I have to put it around 4 inches off the ground. The bracket just snaps into place, or if you don't have any room there, you can actually drill it into the ground. You see those 2 holes in the back. Next, you're going to take the wing nut and the bolt. The bolt slides into the sensor in the back. There's a little groove for it. You place that behind the metal bracket and then secure it in place with the wing nut. Once you do this to the other side, you want to make sure that the beams line up. Now you need to run the wire. All I used was a staple gun and I ran it along the walls to the unit. Some people like to do it behind the walls, but it's my garage. I really didn't care. Now all you have to do is split the wire down the middle and then strip the ends. Now that the wires are ready to go, you want to match it up. There's black and white and there's white. You want to take the 2 black wires and twist them together, and you want to take the 2 white wires and twist them together. You'll have 2 pairs because you need to run both sides of the sensors, one on the right, one on the left, and then that's how you get the 2 pairs. Then you see there's a black hole and a white hole. You want to put the black and white stripe in the black hole and the solid white in the white hole next to it. The other white and red are for later. That's for the wall sensor that goes inside your garage. There's a little red tab that you need to pull down in order to insert the wires. You can use a flathead screwdriver, but using my hand was fine. If the green side is lined up correctly with the yellow side, it will glow green. If you block it, then it will not glow at all, and that means there's an object in the way. As you can see, the yellow has no effect when it's blocked. Unfortunately, I didn't record this correctly, so make sure you follow the instructions that are below on the right-hand side or your instruction manual. Basically, what you want to do is hold down that center black button until the top button flashes. And then what you can do with these adjustments is, if you notice, if you try to open and close the garage door now, it may not close all the way or it may not open all the way. So what you have to do is adjust for that. So if it doesn't close all the way, then you hold the down button until you hit the ground, or if it doesn't open all the way, you need to hold it until you get the desired location. So I didn't really demonstrate this, but you can figure this out on your own. This step is pretty simple. You install the light bulb. Next, you're going to want to install the battery. It's on the other side of where the wiring is. All you have to do is unscrew one screw and take the plate off, and you can put the battery in. Little side note, to take that white casing off, you have to push in on the sides. Don't pull out like I did, and that'll make it a lot easier to take that casing off to get to the battery or the bulb. So you want to take out the wires. One's black, one's red, and on the top of the battery, there's a black terminal and a black white terminal. Sorry, a black and a red terminal. You just take off the plastic covers and slide them in. It's that simple. They say it takes about 24 hours to charge the battery. Then you can test it to make sure it works in case of an outage. And they say depending on usage, it'll last between 2 to 5 years. Then you're going to have to replace it. And I priced them around $20 to $40 depending on where you get them from and if you get generic or name brand. So here you're going to put in the wireless wall unit so you can get to the garage from the outside. I pretty much already put the screw in by hand. I've just left it a little bit out, and there's a back piece that you line it up with. You see the hole there that you slide it into. Push it down, open it up. Once you have it level, and you take the bottom cover off, that exposes the battery, but it also exposes the hole for the second screw. In order to program the wireless panel, you need to press the yellow button. You will need to select a 4-digit code and then press enter. The light will flash on the unit if it's accepted. You have a few seconds to do this. Now let's test it out. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the follow-up videos. Take care.